Hello. I forgot to add myself to the stage. It's been one of those days. Thank you guys for bearing with me today. I kept having to push the time back. It's just things kept coming up, tech issues, all that good stuff. How are you all today? It's a beautiful day down here, down south in Louisiana. Hope you guys all around the world are having just as lucky weather as we are, because it's just amazing. And CERN has been turned off, and I feel like time has been stretched out like a rubber band. Hopefully you guys can hear me. Put a yes if you can hear me in the chat. Let's see. Hi, Andrianus. I think I pronounced that right. Okay, perfect. So you guys all heard me. Okay, so listen, Twitch boss, dancer extraordinaire, has a special place in my heart. I've been a working psychic medium professionally for the last 7 years or so. And I'm a lifelong dancer. So I followed Twitch all the way from So You Think You Can Dance days. My favorite duet was with him and Ellen, until I figured out the nefarious activities that Ellen was up to. And all those years back, whenever I heard about his unaliving, immediately my gut instinct was like, no, he didn't. No, he did not. No, he did not. No, he did not. It's just like a knee-jerk reaction. And I feel everybody in the dance community as well, especially in Dallas, felt the same. There was something weird that went on. Now, as I started, this was a few years back, right when it happened, I became obsessed with watching Allison, because I was a follower of the dance, the dancers, the finalists of the dancers in So You Think You Can Dance. And she kind of seemed like there was nothing really significant about her, I will say. Yeah, she was a great dancer. Her personality seemed a little forced. Her smile felt a little bit uncomfortable, like forced. And granted, dancers on the stage, it can be exhausting. I get it. But there was something natural about Twitch. There was something effervescent, effortless. And a lot of their relationship, as you look back on it, in hindsight, seems a bit staged, a bit convenient. And today when I sat down to meditate, I had the same gut instinct. And I'm so glad Candace Owens brought it up just the other day, because all of these Hollyweird unalivings happen the same way, especially between interracial couples. And we're going to get into it because this is close to my heart. It's something similar that happened to me in my situation back in Dallas. And hopefully we can shed some light on what really happened, and I can kind of channel some stuff. I've already gotten a lot of things. Last night, I had a dream with Twitch, and he was showing me there was a particular beanie that he had on that was multicolored. There was also a briefcase he was showing me. And he was also showing me the number 19. I don't know if this is I was also seeing 11 and then 19. So I don't know if November 19th is significant, or room 1119. Something significant was going on there. But I was seeing in the Red Oak hotel room or motel or whatever. I think it was Red Oak. Yeah. Maybe? I don't know. But I was seeing in particular a briefcase and insurance documents, and someone coming to visit him in the hotel/motel Red Oak Inn. And I felt like he was nervous. He was nervous about his kids. He was nervous about his wife. But he also recognized that there was something staged, planned, wedged in between him and Allison. He suddenly wasn't trusting Allison. It almost felt like she had staged a fight. Now, let's go back to Charlie Kirk for a second. It kind of feels like the same thing. They didn't sleep apart. Well, they slept apart that night, right, in different beds, but not in like different locations, like Twitch and Allison. But it always seems like the night before there's some weird happenings that insert and wedge themselves in between the married couple. And this is also what Twitch was like trying to show me. And they get them so off on the same page, so distrusting of one another, that these dark agents, that's what he's calling them, dark agents. It's almost like Men in Black type, like FBI, like deep state. I don't know. It's men with hats. That was the image he was showing me, that Twitch is showing me. And he's also showing me that there's a significant similarity between the night before Charlie Kirk unaliving, and same with Twitch. So something about the dynamics, the fight, things that were picked up on by the married couple, by the husband. And in particular, let me pull some cards while I'm channeling this to see if make sure I'm getting this right. Because, like cards will come out and fly out right as I'm getting it. It's like confirmation. How are y'all doing today? Thanks for joining me, guys. I'm just checking in with you guys to see. The Mercy Dancer team. I know. Oh, yeah. That was another thing, too, is the Basquiat paintings and artwork with Ellen. I 100% think Ellen is responsible for this sacrifice. I believe this is a sacrifice as far as Twitch is concerned. And it's like, one of the things that I feel like I'm picking up on him is like, he's so annoyed because he's like such a happy person, and he was someone who knew you had to choose happiness each and every day and make a way for yourself. And he's like, it's just like too convenient. Like he hated the kind of like trending hashtag mental health, like awareness that they used him for. I'm feeling he's a little bit like upset about that, because it's like, yeah, I hear him laughing. He's like, how can you be that mentally ill when like you're dancing all the time and like you have these endorphins? He was like, sure, my life wasn't perfect, but I don't think that he was responsible for his unaliving. I just really don't. And the feeling I get from his spirit is that when he got involved with Ellen, it took a dark turn, a very dark turn. And felt like it was quicksand and he couldn't get out. And again, he's showing me Basquiat drawings and scribble scratch, like witchcraft type stuff. I know, like when I had an interview with Ron Swanson on Sean Atwood's channel about my situation, like my failed sacrifice that I got out of, there was a lot of witchcraft that was thrown at my third eye, and it looked like scratch, like Basquiat scribble scratch. That's what witchcraft looks like in my third eye when I see it being thrown. Now, it might look different to other people, but it looked exactly like Basquiat artwork. And it is weird that all these elite artists, fashion icons, people like Ellen have Basquiat like artwork in the back when they're putting these posts. Everything is hidden in plain sight. They have to show you hidden in plain sight. So I think that Ellen is just like allegedly, this is all for entertainment purposes only, my psychic opinion, not fact. I do feel just like Charlie told me that BB is responsible for pulling the trigger, not pulling the trigger technically, pulling the trigger on the order for his hit. The same thing goes here with Twitch saying it's Ellen. Now, I'm also getting a reference to an ankh that he used to wear, a necklace. And what is this? Like, did someone force you to wear this? Yeah. I'm getting intellectual property or intellectual work. So like something connected to work, maybe in the office culture on the Ellen show. Maybe they were indoctrinating him or initiating him into some type of cult activities. Maybe she forced him to wear a necklace of some sort or an ankh. That should have been my light bulb moment, I heard him say. What is the 1119? Is this like a room number? Yeah. Okay. Is this someone else in room 1119? No. He's going back to this briefcase. There's something connected to 1119, a briefcase. A harvest of some sort. He's saying I should have stayed focused on that. I should have stayed focused and paid attention to the weird synchronicities or details that were very obviously like out of place. Does that make sense? Also, he's talking about a pearl necklace that Allison has. Something about the necklace that she wore to his funeral or service is very telling. It's like a pearl necklace or diamond necklace. There's white. I'm also seeing a crown in my mind's eye, so I have to assume this is connected to the royals as well. So Twitch is saying there is something about he had an unhappy relationship in the end. He realized that he was dealing with abandonment issues. So he felt like a lot of people were turning on him. And then he started uncovering more and more on the Ellen show. I'm going to say this with a disclaimer. I'm feeling that the feeling I'm getting from him is racism. There was a big thing he wanted to uncover with racism demands on the show. He wanted to turn the page. There was something she was holding over his head with financial security about his big, like she took responsibility for his big break. I don't agree with that. He already made his big break with his talent. I mean, come on. Hold on 1 second. It's really hot. Let me go turn on the AC. 1 second. I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. Also, what I'm picking up is that someone, I don't know if it's, I just heard, okay, so, so someone, maybe there was a big problem on the show set, on the Ellen show set with Xanny bars, some type of addiction to Xanax bars, Xanny bars, I don't know, something like that. It was rampant, he's saying. Maybe Ellen was the one that was like perpetuating this, allegedly. Never heard this before in my life. Word on the street, word on the spiritual street is, yeah, she was trying to get people hooked, maybe. She tried to do it to him. He didn't want to do it. He said he already learned from also something, maybe like friends or a relative, close relative in Mississippi, maybe struggled with Xanny bars. I've never heard someone call them Xanny bars, but okay, we'll go with it. Yeah, he's saying I already knew what a slippery slope it was, like with I'm seeing seizures and things like that. So obviously it would affect his dancing. Yeah, and he saw what it did to a lot of backup dancers that kind of like never got their big break. I'm hearing three close friends. I always was hopeful. And I do feel like he's saying that he was always way too forgiving with Allison. I think she like mirrored his like sunny disposition, but it was like forced. It was like maybe fake. Like I'm getting, she is kind of like, it's really sad that like half of the people that we see as entertainers are like Disney bots that have been homegrown out of like a eugenics lab of Epstein Island, right? Like Nickelodeon, and I feel like there's only a handful of like real, like solid, like natural, authentic talent. And I feel like Allison is one of those bots that's like been homegrown from like fetus test tube baby. Like she was a plant. Like her purpose was always known. That's the feeling I'm getting from him. There's 2 other versions of her as well. Interesting. Let's just ask a fun question just for myself. Do you think Allison is as good a dancer as you do? As you, I mean. No. Me either. Good answer. Wishes he could have seen it. I know. He really wanted a balanced loving relationship, and thought because they had the same love of dance. But in hindsight, he's got his glasses on. He sees through the veil experience. And now I'm looking over my children. Something about, I don't know who Allison's dating now, but he's just like judging this person hard. This person's like not a good character. And something about this person's financial habits, like this person's out to kind of like, it's kind of like her karma. Like she gains so much money from his going along with his unaliving and like doing the bidding of Ellen, like signing the non-disclosure agreements, NDAs and things like that. But it's like her karma's getting dealt to her. Like whoever's swooping in and kind of playing a role is going to take everything out from underneath her in a slick, sly way. So her karma is coming back to her tenfold. Which kind of sucks, though. I hope it doesn't affect the children. But so let's go back to this briefcase. What was in the briefcase? Legal documents. He was being blackmailed. Something about 16-year-olds he was going to bring out publicly, underage people with the Ellen show. And then they started blackmailing him. This is why he went to a hotel. He was worried for his children's safety. Also, there's a financial difficulty, something an investment, a bad investment that he trusted a female about. But it was like a setup. And maybe someone was trying to say that he was schmooicidal because of like bad financial investments. He's like, no. It was like a setup. I would have come back from it, he said. It was like some type of producing credit or something. He's like saying like I was getting into some producing, like wanting to get some projects off the ground. I had a little money to invest, and these things happen. It's kind of a gamble sometimes. I had a gut feeling about this woman. She kind of was setting me up, but like the story this woman tells after my passing is not true. Like she acts like I like gambled everything away on this investment. And he's like, no, like maybe 8% of like, I knew to stay well within like 10% of my earnings, or 10 to 20% of my earnings, just like to like a healthy dose of risk is kind of what I'm getting. She's lying. She has a huge mask on. She's trying to make it believable that he was like making sticky financial decisions. And then that would also kind of like corroborate like Allison's lies with him doing drugs. We'll say rugs. And then there's also this connection to Xanny bars. Like, I don't know why he keeps saying Xanny bars, but and then he's talking about a cousin from Mississippi. So it's like, no, I would never do that just because of what I've experienced with a cousin from Mississippi, like over and over and over again, talking about Mississippi. Now, there's also something connected to the racism on Ellen's show and what he experienced growing up. It followed him all the way to the show, he's saying. Same objectives, same clear objectives, harvesting my energy, my good energy, my light, my sunshine. And he definitely was sunshine, for sure. Okay, this is weird. I don't know what this is. Yeah, I agree, Mystic Mama. She has handler vibes for sure. It's just the smile for me, the forced. I don't know. And I just recently saw, I couldn't watch it because, like, you know, when I first started watching Allison on So You Think You Could Dance, like, it just, you know, the real person emerges and it just crumbles and you're just like, ah. You just can't. Just so disgusted that people actually would partake in that kind of Hollyweird behavior and want to like harvest energy off of other people's backs. Like, I don't know. Maybe I'm grown different. I just can't understand it. I can't understand it. Yes, please hit the like button, share, subscribe. Yeah. Hi, Brenda Hose. Put your QQQs in the chat if there's any questions you want me to ask about the Twitch situation. Put a 1 in the chat if you think that Ellen is responsible. Put a 2 in the chat if you believe that he really did unalive himself. Says, well, this ought to be interesting. I'll give you all 2 guesses, 2 who had their hands in it, and her initials are EG. Yep. Ellen Degenerate. Yeah. I agree. Yes. 111. Across the board. It's unanimous. Yep. It's really sad. I do also feel that there has been a big investigation that his mother and there's a male figure, maybe a grandfather, connected to his mother's side that has a lot of evidence that they've been trying to bury. And I think they're probably going to leak some information despite the danger that's involved. Maybe Candace Owens is like kind of, this is a resurgence of the truth coming out, and they will feel, his family will feel a little stronger or more bold to come out. But there's definitely some racism connected to all of this. And a lot of people close to Twitch on the Ellen show and the set, maybe like a mic guy, maybe like a camera guy, he maybe left some very valuable like evidence with 2 guys on the set of the Ellen DeGeneres show. There's a mountain of evidence that's like kind of piling up. People that have my back, I heard him say. So I think we'll find out some more hidden things coming out. There's been like a lack of progress in the last like 5 years, and then all of a sudden it's like in the next 7 months there's going to be a landslide, like a huge gush of like sudden momentum here. And these things are all connected. Like, I would not be surprised that like this is going to sound crazy, but I feel like every criminal, heinous activity, they're all connected. They're all connected to these secret societies, to these horrible, like, I just don't think, like, we're just all the Trumans, like, living in this world, like, trying to, like, follow the rules and do a good job and just, like, get through life, like, in the best way possible, doing the best they can. And then all these criminal activities and, like, everything in the underbelly, the underground of all this, like, I'm pretty sure you can connect every crime together. Like, that's just how I kind of get a feeling of it. It's like it's like the snake and domino snake like effect, where it's just like the Epstein files, like one just like and then all the dominoes fall. Like, that's the visual I'm getting, like with like Charlie Kirk and the unaliving of like Twitch. Like, it's all the same playbook. It's all the same rule. Like, they all play by the same rules. They all like do spell casting and like interview. It's like a trance, almost like monologues, spell casting, spell binding. I heard him say, yeah, it's all to bind, to keep you entrapped, ensnared. So I feel like it's all connected. And he's saying that's why Ellen DeGeneres ran to the UK. She's owned by the royals, I heard him say. I wonder if that's a thing too, if like people that are owned by the royals, like, can only do like certain royal deals. I'm sure that's also something that happens. Hi, Wendy. No worries. We're just getting started. Yeah. Now, the Rothschilds definitely, I feel, have more of their hands in the medical pots, the medical industry. In fact, let me pull up one of my favorite Rothschilds quotes about the medical field. Let's see. It says, more than 100 years ago, Rudolf Steiner wrote the following. Hold on. Let me zoom in. My 40-year-old eyesight. In the future, we will eliminate the soul with medicine. Under the pretext of a healthy point of view, there will be a vaccine by which the human body will be treated as soon as possible, directly at birth, so that the human being cannot develop the thought of the existence of the soul and the spirit. To materialistic doctors, we will be entrusted with the task of removing the soul of humanity. As today, people are vaccinated against diseases or diseases of the future, children will be vaccinated with a substance that can be produced precisely in such a way that people, thanks to this vaccination, will be immune to being subjected to the madness of spiritual life. What they're calling spiritual life madness. He would be extremely smart, but he would not develop a conscience. And that is the true goal of all materialistic circles, especially that of medicine. So, yeah, this is what medicine, the medical field, has been entirely designed around. And in fact, you can actually research an old lecture of Bill Gates talking about way before C-19 and the jab came out. He did a study and then a lecture on the VMAT gene. And he claimed that people that had a very pronounced VMAT Gene had an obsessive connection to God and source and religion. And he was talking about how he wanted to eradicate it. And it used the very same mRNA components that the jab C19 did in 2020. So, in my opinion, everything that they're trying to get you to agree to of your own free will is to sever the connection to source, the intuition to the pineal glands, the inner sanctum, the inner knowing, the inner seeing that has been placed inside of us from birth, from conception. And little by little, the disease, dis-ease in our body, and the different things, the parasites that they place in our foods, the little, it's all a formula. If you look at WebMD, there's always, it's like 90% of it is fear. You should take out the organ because leads to the big C. Or you can be dependent on a medication for the rest of your life. There's usually a formula. They want you to be dependent on the system to slowly dissect your body and to hand over your power to the system. And now, half of our people are like bionic. They're handing out hip replacements left and right. Same with knee replacements. And our bodies can regenerate. So, yeah, this is all allegedly. Don't come for me, FDA. But yeah. Okay, Tamara has a question. QQQ, is EG part of the Rothschild family like most people suspect? Oh, great question. I haven't heard that, but we'll see. She sure is ugly as them. Oh, that's another thing too. I think EG is also suffering withdrawals from adenocomb, we'll say. AC, I'll call it AC. You can tell in her skin, she looks like she's having withdrawals from chroma of adrena. Yeah. Yes. Okay. She is part of the Rothschilds. However, some decision that she has made or deal with a contractual devil, so to speak, has separated her, like put her on the outskirts of whatever protection they would provide or the family name would provide. That, I hope that makes sense. Like, she has made herself vulnerable to, like, almost like made an enemy out of them because of a decision. And it has to do with her control issues, because she's very, very sadistic in that way. She likes to be in control. Like, I'm seeing she has a huge control issue. Huge. Even more so now that she's older. She's been drunk with power, I heard. And something in the last 2 years has pitted her as an extreme enemy of the Rothschilds now. Like, she's made an enemy out of that. So that she was connected, she did have protection, but something has drastically shifted in the last 2 years. What does this decision have to do with? Is it like, she was like being greedy? Something about, okay. I have no idea. Maybe you guys will know about this. Okay, but they're showing me the 12 bloodlines. And when you make as big of a deal as this, you have to pay out all the other bloodlines. That's like the covenant agreement. And she did it. She wanted control, dictatorship over something. And I think this is why they allowed her to have a public stoning, so to speak. I mean, that's basically what it was, a public stoning, like with her, all of her on-set culture, all of the mistreatment, stuff like that. I think that's why they allowed it to leak, because she made some backdoor deal or something and didn't pay out the rest of the bloodlines. And in my mind's eye, what I'm seeing, the way they're describing it to me is like, have you ever seen the show Discovery of Witches, where like the vampires, the like witches, the demons, all the different sectors have to meet up, and there's like certain rules they have to abide for, like to keep their like departments intact. Yeah, there's something like that going on that she didn't abide by. So she's like in the doghouse, like she's kind of on a lonely island, and it looks like maybe she had to go get like, maybe that's why she had to go and like flee to the UK and seek some royal protection. Something going on with that. I'm also seeing 626 in my mind. She's also an extremely, extremely critical person behind the scenes. I mean, I know we all kind of know that, but like horrible. Like doesn't care, like is super blunt and says the most horrible things. That's what I'm getting. QQQ, is it true that wisdom teeth removal can affect ability to connect? Yeah, I actually did one of my first videos I entitled, my guides used to always say, your teeth are the family jewels. And I was like, what? But I entitled the video connected to that, where I talk about how wisdom teeth are directly connected to your pineal gland and the wisdom of the Christ oil sitting in between the two temples. And it's kind of like an initiation. That's why they want to take them out. Also, it's very easy to clone people from the teeth material. That's why when super soldiers, reptilian super soldiers that were made in the American military and army and armed forces, when they start like speaking truth and like going public about their super soldierness and the reptilian like weird anomalies that start like happening medically on their body, they will go in and they will like intimidate and like they will like threaten them by taking out one tooth at a time. And they also to have their DNA, like have a data bank of it. So yeah, so teeth are very valuable, and that's also why Epstein had like a dentist chair, I believe, on Epstein's Island, is because he was like collecting data. He wanted a data bank of everybody that was coming in and out, so he could pick and choose DNA. So yes, it's directly connected to a lot of the meridians, that connect us to the celestial lands, to our ancestors, the wisdom teeth. Yeah, I wish I wouldn't have had mine removed. I wish I wouldn't have had mine removed. I wish I would know what it feels like, but you can still work on it. You know, I've got my pineal gland. I'm like fully tapped in. So just something to work on, and like decalcify the pineal gland with, you know, no fluoride, get water filters, try to stay away from chlorinated water, that kind of thing. I know, me too. Mine were impacted. And in fact, like I was not that kid that like wanted to, like was ever homesick or like had to call my mom home from sleepovers and stuff. Like I never cried for my mom. I was the oldest kid and I was very, very independent. And when I had my wisdom teeth out when I was 16, I cried like a baby. Like I don't know what happened to me when I was under anesthesia, but I definitely felt like I was regressed into a childlike state, and I was crying for my mommy like I was a toddler. And I immediately felt like something had happened wrong to me while I was under anesthesia. Now, I know they say that's a side effect, but I think there's a reason they say that. So, yeah. And I don't think I was in there alone with the doctor. I don't think there was another assistant or nurse there. So, yeah, I just had an eerie feeling when I woke up. And I think that happens to a lot of people, especially if the doctor is a Freemason, allegedly. Okay, dude, go search the files for dental equipment. Yeah. We all need to detox for sure. It's a slow and steady process. Like I was on a water fast for 3.5 days. I told myself I wasn't going to eat any sugar, and then I kind of caved and had like a little bit of like a smoothie today. I had been working out and I needed a smoothie. I needed to pick me up. So you got to be gentle with yourself. It's a process. And also half the food we have access to is like not even real food. We try our best. That's why it's the best to grow your own food. But you do what you can. Yes, my favorite toothpaste is No BS. I like the remineralizing toothpaste that also has like hydrogen peroxides, baking soda. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it couldn't hurt. Well, okay, so here's the thing. Your teeth are crystals. That's why baking soda is really important. It like kind of like is a buffering agent and against the acidity that we put into our bodies every day. And coffee, listen, I cut out coffee and then I caved and I had coffee this morning. So I'm making progress. It's like 4 steps forward, 2 steps back. You know, I'm trying my best. It's hard. Okay, like coffee is one of life's hardest addictions, in my opinion. I mean, because I was given to it by my grandparents gave me coffee milk when I was like a toddler. Who does that? So it's really hard for me to like get my mornings going. I try. I went 3.5 days. And yeah, I need to do the alkaline. I need to switch to alkaline coffee. That would be like a great like segue, you know, not so abrupt. One of my girls has a second set of wisdom teeth coming through. The first set was removed. Okay, so this is a sign of giant remnant DNA. And in fact, I won't show you, but I have the Tosi bones. So whenever I like go and get like retainer or impressions, I have these bones in my soft palate that people don't have normally. And they say that they are remnants of like cavemen, like ancestral remnants of like evolutionary adaptations to survive out in like the caveman times. And every time I go like get like impressions done or, you know, dentists, they're always like, oh, you got toesy bones. I'm like, yes. They're always like fascinated when they see them. I guess not a lot of people have them, but yeah. So a second row of teeth is indicative of Nephilim giant DNA. Now, that's not a bad thing. Like people look at the Nephilims as, listen, newsflash, guys, like we are all scrambled. We all have some reptilian DNA. We all got a little bit of the bad DNA, the nefarious, evil stuff. That's why they've kind of mishmashed the lower body and the higher mind together. We have the pineal gland. It sits underneath the reptilian mind. And this great awakening and this great spiritual ascension that we're going through right now is about trying to fuse the light and the dark. Not evil, because there is evil, but it is recognizing the shadow and the dark parts of ourselves and marrying them with the light, finding love and self-awareness and choosing of our free will no longer to partake in what the history's nefarious acts have and deeds have created karmically. Does that make sense? So I know like my mother has red hair, so that's connected to the actual angelic race. There's an angelic race that descended from angelic, you know, offspring from the Nephilim and the giants and things like that. So the second row of teeth is definitely connected to giant DNA. Which one? Is it like the onicum? Let me see. Yeah, the Nephilim. I'm getting the Nephilim, not the onicum. So the Book of Enoch type of Nephilim. So your daughter is a very ancient soul. So it's not a bad thing, I promise. Oh my God, she has those bones too. Yeah, and I'm connected to the giant angelic DNA race. So my family, the redheads. So and then my mom's mother's side is Jewish, which I had no idea came from the Kushner side. Yeah, I once had a Jewish boyfriend break up with me because I wasn't Jewish, and he was like, "Oh, it happened. It comes down the mother's bloodline," and then turns out years later, I found out I had Jewish in my mother's bloodline. It was random. Anyway, is that Tori or something? It's called a toesy bone. Saber-toothed tiger? No. Although that would have been very helpful this last year if I did have some saber-toothed tiger in me. My family's full of redheads. Yep, those recessive genes. And also, if you have redheads in your family, you will also be very have some allergic reactions and things like that, and very sensitive to certain perfumes and high maintenance stuff. Yeah. Oh, wait, let's see. I do too. My dentist said it makes your bite super strong. Yeah. Yeah. See, I'm very psychic and I don't have my wisdom teeth. So you can, the body is a miraculous thing. You take out certain organs and it will compensate. It will compensate. Especially neurologically. All right, let's see what else we can pull. I have the giant Scott Irish and Canary Island giants called the Guanches. Learned that a few days ago. Oh, cool. I've never heard of them. Now, what I'm seeing about the Guanches, I don't know how to say that. What I'm seeing in my mind's eye is like oceanic caves or like cenotes. So maybe these giants also had underwater qualities or abilities, something like that. That's what I'm getting from that. A 3-day fast is amazing. I need to do one before summer ends. I will say, like, it was definitely needed. Like, when you just like have like a liquid diet day, even if it's for 24 hours, the next day you have like a burst of like, suddenly you want to go organize your closets and you just want to tackle the day. And then you want to do it a little bit more. Then you're like, okay, after 24 hours, then you have something to eat. And then you're like, wait, that didn't make me feel that much better. Actually made me feel worse. So like try and do it in like, it's kind of like coming in for a landing, you know, like, yeah, like I would imagine if you flew a plane. It's like you try it out, see if you can go 12 hours, then 24 hours, then 2 days. And the longer you go, the better you feel. You just listen to your body. I'm like a big advocate of listening to your body. People need different things. In exercise, we've all got different DNA. We've all got different parasites. We've all got different comforts or things that we gravitate towards. So we all need different things. And I always just listen to like my cravings. Oh, this is a great one. So sorry, going off on a tangent. I need to get back to Twitch. But one thing I've been doing which is like a great little snack. It's like the nature's best Jello. And just because it's been so hot in the South and I've been like, I've been sweating so much and I just feel like, I don't know, it's just like a hotter summer than normal. And I just need way more electrolytes. I've been taking sea moss gel, a hibiscus sea moss gel, and almost making like a fruit cup and like putting Ancient Nutrition rapid hydration electrolytes, like the powder, and mixing it up in sea moss gel, like a little Jello shot. And it is, my mouth is watering just thinking about it. That's how much I've been craving them. It hits the spot. There's like no sugar, but it has a tart, refreshing hibiscus strawberry taste to it. It is amazing. It's been giving me new life. And it's a great little snack. So I love finding little snack hacks like that are healthy. Okay. What else do we need to know, Twitch? Something about Kim. There's a name, Kim, close to the friend circle. Something about Allison's I heard proclivities and maybe sensual preferences behind the scenes. There's someone named Kim, a close friend, that knows about this. And I just got the card, A Passionate Affair. And he's saying I was the fool. It's always that's always what happens. Is there any like, I'm just starting to think that like every Hollywood, like, is there any authentic Hollywood couple ever? Are they all handlers, like CIAs? I'm starting to think, yeah, it's all set up. She's working together as a team with a new person who's exactly her match. He's going to give her all of the karma. He's going to do everything to her she did to Twitch. And she thinks she's in love. Well, good luck, buddy. She thinks she's living the dream. She's getting the star card, successes, and it's all going to be fun and games until the rug comes out from under her and some deception and lies are exposed. In the next 7 months, something's coming out. Also, something about her tears, fake tears on a TV program. It's like giving Barbara Walters type of exclusive, like 2020 exclusive. Obviously, I know Barbara Walters isn't alive still, right? Or was that like a Mandela effect? I don't know. I feel like she passed away though, right? I'm getting there some type of like long interview where she's sitting on a couch and her tears are so fake and forced. It's like cringe to watch. I'm also seeing the high priestess in a cloak, not in a good way. This is usually when it's upright, it's a good card, but I'm seeing that she dabbles in witchcraft and has been trained and initiated by the Freemasons. These two pillars are sticking out at me that you have to be initiated. So was she kind of like a Disney like character that was like a plant, like lab grown? Yeah. 3 versions. Again, 2 other versions of her exist. Yes, spot on. Guanches, Atlantis. Oh, perfect. Yay. Well, good thing my pineal gland is working. And it's a good thing I'm a lazy psychic because, yeah. They also have pyramids in the Canary Islands. Didn't know that existed. Yeah, pyramids have exceptional influence on weather. Also pulling the etheric energy down and alchemizing it with Mercury, and also creating more of a 5D interdimensional teleportation pad as well. I could talk about these things forever. Like we could go down some weird rabbit holes with you guys. You'd be like, oh my God, she's crazy. Yes, muscle that you exercise for sure. Kim Porter. Isn't Kim Porter connected to P. Diddy? Maybe. I mean, listen, I just went on a spill about how everything is connected. Domino effect in Hollyweird. Is Kim Porter connected to Twitch in some way? Yes. Payouts and money. My hair is like, okay. Great correlation, Patricia. If there's any wisdom he could offer us related to early tell signals. Great question. Tell us your wisdom, Twitch. He's joking, but he says, don't date anybody. Stay single. Okay, so his advice is making sure that someone shows kindness in their eyes and action. So something about sharing and caring from the jump. When you're the one that's giving everything of yourself and getting nothing in return and feel like you're like backsliding, I heard him say, giving and giving and giving, and then someone else doesn't, that's the tall tale sign. And to not, he says, I was seduced by luxury. And that my energy, my kindness and generosity, I just assumed everyone was just like that. He also, he's circling back to those abandonment issues. It was like people would abruptly like cut him off and he didn't know why. And he would always think that it was him. And that was almost a way that they handled him, is what I'm getting. That threat of being abandoned. He had a big abandonment wound. I feel like we all do at this point. Like, what, like 50% of households come from broken homes. I mean, there's so much that goes behind the scenes, nefarious activities that break up families, and systems in place like CPS and social workers and divorce and modern families and like all this blended families, things like that. And then on top of it, you've got addiction, and you've got things that they're pumping into schools. And yeah, there's just so much. It's all connected. He says the good rule of thumb is, and good for business as well, is don't go out on a limb for anybody. See what they can do for you first. That will be the barometer of how kind someone's eyes really are. Again, I'm seeing the number 19, and I'm seeing a sunset now. I'm also seeing that hotel. So it's either like Red Oak Room or Red Oak Inn or White Oak Inn, something like that. Something about a mantra as well. Dude, remember with the Charlie Kirk reading, I said that there was some weird like chant. He's saying a mantra that the guy that came to visit him, he was not alone in his hotel room. The person that came to visit with him had like, it looks like a 1950s CIA like suit with a hat. Like, looks like Men in Black, kind of weird interdimensional fourth, like double agent type thing that came into his room. That was responsible for unaliving him physically, that was carrying out the hit. But now I'm seeing the number 13 in my mind's eye. I don't know why. Oh shoot, I forgot where I was going with that. I just lost it. The double agent guy came in. Also something about a cross. Maybe they did like something like final rites or something on him before. Cognitive dissonance. Hidden motives. I thought I was having a meeting on exposing Ellen, and someone was reading rites. Oh, the mantra. That's what it was. The mantra. So the mantra, there's like a weird mantra. He was talking about mantra and the cross. Charlie, the way Charlie was talking about it was a chant. And an inner closet door, an inner room, an inner, something about an inner. So that's something was muffled and wasn't heard. Removed. They removed something from me. Oh my God, they removed some type of organ and sold it on the black market. What? How rude. On top of that, they're unaliving you and then they see? This is the kind of stuff, the racist kind of stuff that goes on in Hollyweird as well. This is his kidneys. His left kidney. Was it both of them? Why the left kidney? It was just the left kidney. That's super weird. and his heart. Yeah, something. Okay, so I'm seeing again the sunset and the sun, melanin. There's a reference to melanin and um, yeah, highly prized. Something with the number 19 again, highly prized organs. Not a good situation. Yeah, I'll say. High energy. I'm also getting something about his testicles. Maybe they, obviously, for like DNA stuff, something there. I'm also getting the number 8, so something could have happened in August or the 8th of something in connection to harvesting like his organs or stuff. Wow, this. Sorry, guys, I didn't know I was going to be channeling this. I know this is like kind of triggering. There's leaked audio of her on a call acting like she has nothing to thank Twitch for, and she did it all herself. Very much Erica vibes. Yeah, I mean, obviously, the fact that these people are still on platforms and in public spaces is like just like who is running the country? Like, we need to start pulling back our energy or whatever we're giving to these, like pulling back all monetary support, like whatever we can do, like starve the beast. It's just my opinion. It's like, what else can we do? Easter Star. I didn't see it before, but now it's all I see. Yeah. I recently found that I'm one of the only non-Eastern stars on my street. Ooh, scary vibes. Yeah. Oh, wow. Abandonment. Yeah. I think that's really great that he can, like, yeah, recognize that on the other side as well. It's something, if you have a handler that's sent in to handle you, it's very obvious that they have a wound, a trauma response that they think they understand you by, which is usually abandonment and rejection. And in fact, he's telling me I need to do a handler entire dedicated video. So we can do that. And I can like teach you guys what I've learned in my situation, waking up in my own Truman Show. But I have to go right now because I have another reading I have to get to. But I hope you guys enjoyed it. Thank you so much for coming and spending time with me and letting me ramble on and on and on. It's been a great hour. All right, guys. Love you. Until next time.